Welcome to another edition of Banter Babble. I am the Dude79, and joining me, as always, my esteemed colleague and good friend, Fanboytone. Fanboytone, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Good to hear. I'm glad to hear you're doing all right.
Long day.
No, you had a really crazy day, didn't you? You want to go play some Fortnite after this?
Nope.
Bet you do. Nope, he does not. He does not want to play Fortnite. I hope everyone is having a great evening tonight. This is, again, episode 3 of Banter and Babble. And just a quick update, you can now listen to the show on just about every podcast thing there is out there right now.
Yeah.
We're available on iTunes. We're available on Spotify. We're available on Google Podcasts now. We're available on Stitcher. They're all the main ones, and then whatever those obscure ones that you goofy people like to use once in a while because it's so edgy. I'm joking.
Always.
Yes. So, as usual, we will stream here Wednesday nights, live, every other Wednesday, live right here on Mixer. Can't really hear Tone. What are you talking about? You really can't hear him at all? Go ahead and talk.
Now.
Oh, you really can't. Your mic is off. Most fortunate. That's weird. Now your mic's not working.
Dance for
Does dance. Now try talking. Now try talking.
Oh.
No, we do not have. We don't have any more. Yeah, that's desktop audio. That is not you. For some reason, your mic. Try this. Plug.
Talk a little bit louder. See.
Please don't do that. That is super annoying.
Oh, Jesus.
It's coming through. Oh, now try talking to him.
Hello. 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 Hello.
There we
hello.
go.
Hello.
Now he's
Hello.
live.
Hello. Hello.
There he is.
You
He's
know,
alive and well. I tried to sabotage the show. I tried to run him out of here.
Right. Well,
But thanks. Thanks, Genosaurus. I appreciate that.
yeah, I appreciate that, Gene Wife.
God dang it.
So,
Anyways, before that happened, what were we talking about?
no, we're not.
Oh, shit. Okay, never
We're
mind.
not talking about that
But no,
at all.
as we were talking about, you can watch this show live on Wednesdays right here on Mixer on either my channel, TheDude79, or Fanboytone's. We'll be co-streaming it, so everybody will be in chat together
Yes.
to have a conversation
Yes.
about whatever we're talking about. And then on Friday, this episode will be available on what we talked about, YouTube. It'll be available on Facebook, and then audio versions on just about every podcast platform there is out there.
You can take me on the go.
You can take
That's
Tone
a
on the go.
bonus.
If that is a bonus. A bonus
Sip it.
is what he meant to say. But so here we are, episode 3. We got a lot to talk about this week. Got some TV shows we want to talk about. We have a new service launching next week that I know you're excited about. We're going to talk a little bit about Call of Duty. We played a lot of it. You've played a lot more of it than you thought you would.
Oh my God.
And then we've also got to talk a little bit about a game that's dropping this Friday that's had some very polarizing reviews.
Controversial.
Very controversial.
That's fine.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then what else are we talking about?
We're going to talk about.
Did we touch on everything? Was that everything? Call of Duty?
That show you were watching.
Oh, C. We're going to talk about C.
Yeah, we're going to talk about C, yeah.
On Apple Plus, the Jason Momoa show.
Yeah, we really got our shit together today.
We are seriously, the mic was fucked up. Everything was messed up. It's been a disaster from the start. This show should be we should probably smash all of our beers. What are we drinking tonight, Tone?
So tonight we are drinking, I've actually never tried this one. I like a lot of the pumpkin style beers in the fall. This is the Blue Moon pumpkin wheat. Now, a lot of them are ales, so they got that little bit of that hopsy kick. This actually is a wheat, so I haven't tried it yet either. We also crushed already a couple beers. Is it smooth?
Smooth. It is very smooth. Very tasty. Big fan of it.
Yeah, that is smooth.
The Blue Moon Harvest Pumpkin Wheat. Recommended. And just how strong is it? Do we have a number on this thing? 5.7. Okay.
I can't count. Pretty average.
5.7. That's not for me. If I have 4 of these, pieces of clothes start coming off.
Is the plan.
Your chagrin, sir.
That's the plan.
But yeah, let's get into it, man. We got, like I said, we got quite a few things to talk about today.
Yeah.
We're gonna start off with video games first because that's what we play. We play a lot of video games.
We do play a lot of video games and together.
We do a lot of games together lately, especially some Call of Duty. So now here we are, Call of Duty. which is now the largest launched Call of Duty ever, and it's $600 million the first 3 days.
Awesome.
It's surpassed like just about every like media phenomenon ever. It's like it's made a lot of money. Shocking. So if you know anybody who said I'm not buying Call of Duty this year, bet you they're full of shit.
They ran back in about 3 days later after they seen those sales and bought it.
And bought 2 copies of it because this game made a lot of money. So here we are. Call of Duty is out. I played a good portion of the campaign. I know Prime has beaten it. Campaign is fantastic.
Yeah, allegedly.
I think it's an awesome campaign. Oh, you mean it's allegedly that it's beaten it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, obviously
Prime's a liar.
He is a liar. But so we have this. We've been playing Call of Duty. We've been doing a lot of multiplayer, and this has been a lot of fun. But it does have a bit of an issue right now. There is an issue with a couple of guns, and play styles by people, including camping.
He does cheat, Cap. Cap knows.
What? Get out of here. Don't be mad at me because you can't shoot me point blank, dude. But anyways, so we're going to talk a little bit about Call of Duty multiplayer. First of all, I want to get your first impressions of what you've played so far.
I'm going to try and stay on track with it because I can go into a lot of different things. But being that, I'm going to say this, I think it's fair to say, we kind of talked about it before, like Infinity Ward turned into Respawn with some of the people. And what I liked a lot about Titanfall 2, and this is going to come back forth relevant, I promise. Titanfall 2, when you're shooting guns, everything feels really straight and very solid. Like the shooting in that game is very, I mean, the game's fast-paced and crazy, but like that's one of the best shooters I've played this entire generation as far as FPS. Now, the last time I had a good time with Call of Duty was Ghosts, and that's also controversial. A lot of people don't like Ghosts. I love Ghosts, right? But Modern Warfare, this one also similar to Ghosts in the fact that you can early on at least mess with certain loadouts and stuff like that, where you still have to rank to get some of the guns, but in Ghosts let you use whatever you wanted to at any time. Prior to that, I played a little bit of Modern Warfare 3, but Modern Warfare 2 was the one I played the most of.
Right.
I was never good at it. I'm not great usually at FPSs anyways, especially not Call of Duty's.
We know, yeah.
Asshole. So, coming full circle now, like, playing Modern Warfare felt and feels like Ghosts and the old Modern Warfares and Titanfall 2 because the gameplay to me mechanically Respawn still has that Infinity Ward feel and they clearly have it too. So it like the first multiplayer couple matches I played, I was like, whoa. I was like instantly like, holy shit, this is really fun. Like it felt like good pace and the elements, the small elements of Battlefield.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things going on with this game. Like you said, the core mechanics of it, the shooting mechanics, everything feels really, really good. Yeah. The game's polished. It looks really good. Right. The audio is fantastic. Now, I play with headphones, but once in a while I'll hop over here to my main setup where I play, like, if I want to play like a single-player experience, I go for the full movie effect. Surround sound. This game will blow your fucking room away.
Whether you have a headset on or surround sound, it sounds like a plane's bombing shit around you.
The game sounds incredible. The sound design for this Call of Duty is absolutely phenomenal. It's fantastic. So big kudos to them there. But in terms of the multiplayer, we got to talk about some of the issues that are going on.
Oh, do we?
Yeah. There is a whole lot of camping going on in Call of Duty right now. And that is partially in part of the design choice with the maps. A lot of these maps have a lot of interiors.
Yeah, which is fine.
Which is fine. And, you know, I understand Call of Duty has always been a Twitch shooter. It's always been a very arcadey shooter. You're running and gunning. That's always been kind of the MO for Call of Duty. That's what you play for. Run and gun, fast-paced matches, whatnot. But, you know, with claymores and mines and stuff, and then you have the shrapnel perk, which allows you to carry 2 of these items, there's a lot of people who are, I don't want to say exploiting it, but they're getting comfy in some of these interiors. They've got claymores in windows. They've got mines on staircases. They've got rooms locked down, and they're just sitting out windows, just pop shotting people, either with the M4 auto rifle for distance kills, or the 725, right, a shotgun for distance kills, because that thing has just incredible range.
Awesome range.
There is a whole lot of range on that gun, and that's some of the things that need to be looked at, because right now, if you're not running overkill, which allows you to carry 2 primary weapons, with the M4 and the 725, with the shrapnel perk rocking 2 claymores, you're at a disadvantage.
If you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it is. You have, in order to compete, you have to have at least one or both of those weapons equipped. 725 even more so than the M4. The 725 is an absolute terror. I don't think I've gone into a game and died by somebody who didn't at least have the 725 equipped.
Correct. Recently, yeah.
I mean, it's an absolute killer in multiplayer right now. So that's something they need to look at. But despite the unbalancing with those two weapons, and despite the horrific spawn system, I know you haven't had too much of an issue with it.
I have. Oh, I have.
Okay.
Oh, I have.
Okay. So we both understand that the spawn system takes way too long to switch sides of the map or get you to another spawn. And the reason that sucks is because the game is so fun to play. When you're actually in combat and everything is running smoothly and there's a good flow to the map, everyone's spawning in the right spots, it's fun to play. But the moment that you get trapped in that spawn and the enemy team has you basically surrounded, the game takes way too fucking long to figure that out. And swap the spawn. And by the time it does swap, the game's fucking over.
Right.
You have little chance to pull off to get that win. So it's very, very difficult with the spawn system right now. But that's why, to kind of remedy that, to alleviate that, that's why I've been kind of more focusing in the cyber attack mode, the gunfight mode, the search and destroy, or even if you want to get crazy, the ground war.
I like domination.
Domination works a little is a little bit better, but even in domination,
you still deal with spawn shit.
You can still deal with a lot of spawn issues. So those are some things that need to be looked at, that need to be tweaked. But for the most part, the reason I feel like everybody they want these things tweaked because the game is really, really good. Yeah. Outside of those issues, it is a fundamentally strong game. It's a mechanically strong game, and it's really, really fun to play. They've gone away from the sci-fi silliness of the Black Ops and Advanced Warfare and Infinity War and all that stuff. It is now more boots on the ground than ever. And it's very similar to what we saw in Modern Warfare 1 and Modern Warfare 2, which is, without it's no mistake, those are two of the most popular games in the franchises. So they've gone back to their roots. The game is strong. Well, they definitely need some tweaks. And there have been, look, I know everyone knows who Dr. Disrespect is, but he's had some issues with Call of Duty, and I just think these videos are hilarious. Check this out. This is first. This one's great.
Terrible, man. You're so fucking boring. Stay in the back of the map, you pussy.
In the green building, too.
He's not too happy with this guy in the back corner.
Look at him! Look at him! What a fucking pussy!
And he just walks off. He just leaves the game.
Getting in there.
And so he was very displeased with it. And then he came on again the other day, where he I didn't realize this, but he actually worked on Call of Duty. He's a developer.
Yeah.
He worked on previous Call of Duty. So when he has something to say about Call of Duty, his opinion on it has a little more weight than most people, than most streamers, for sure. So when you watch this stream, I actually understand what he's saying a little bit. He makes some sense here. Let's check this one out.
Can't even see him on the staircase.
Enemy UAV online.
Both maps we've shown here, by the way, are definitely controversial because of their innards.
Oh yeah.
I can't fucking play this game right now. I don't want to play. I don't fucking want to play pubs. Activision, Infinity Ward. I don't want to play pubs. You got fucking claymores on every single window and every single door. No one wants that. If that's not happening, then the 725 shotgun from across the map's happening. No one wants it. It's time to make a patch tonight. Put it out tonight. Let's change it up. Let's get right back to let's get on course. We're starting to swerve way off fucking course right now, man. We're going downhill in our Jeep that doesn't have 4x4. It's a 4x2 Jeep, right? Because we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Let's dial it back. Let's take out the claymores, right? Let's get the shotguns nerfed big time.
He's not happy.
And I don't know. Maybe add dead silence in the game, right? So we can just kind of run around and not be heard everywhere.
Oh my. Yeah, so there you go. There's Dr. Disrespect. Wow. He makes some valid points. He makes some points. Obviously the 725, it does need some kind of a nerf. It needs to pull back that range.
Oh, yeah.
Well, look, it's a shotgun. Okay, and if you're point blank, if you're close, I expect to die by a shotgun blast.
Oh, yeah.
But there have been multiple instances, and I'm not going to bitch about it because I've died by it. I've done it. I've rocked that 725, and I've gone out there, and I've spammed that thing, and I've been, I've ruined the game for many people by going crazy with it. And you actually just unlocked it and started using it as well.
I had it unlocked, didn't realize it, and all I'm going to say about it to finalize it, if you can't beat them, join them. And that's what Trap Cop said the other day in chat, and as soon as I did, It changed my world.
It does. It really does. It puts you on the same level with
Yes.
everyone else, and you feel and you can actually compete. And a gun should not have that kind of impact on a game. It shouldn't take over a game like that.
Fix it, Infinity Ward, soon.
Yes.
And they did say, as of within the last day or 2 or 3 or whatever, there's some balancing coming. And somebody asked specifically on Twitter to one of the community managers, developer, whatever, and said, "Hey, 725 in there," and he just said, "Balancing is coming all across the board." So
yeah, they're bringing a lot of stuff out. There's actually supposed to be quite a few patches throughout November and December. There's going to be multiple. They're going to overhaul this game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a word that's going on. Overhaul. The game's been out a month, and now we're looking at an overhaul. But I mean, in this instance, I don't know if it needs a complete overhaul, but definitely some abilities like Dead Silence. I feel like with the way the footsteps work in this game, I kind of wish Dead Silence was more of a perk as opposed to one of the field upgrade things where you can only use it occasionally. Dead Silence was always a perk before that would take up one of your spots as opposed to like shrapnel or something like that.
I recall.
So you could be able to move around without being detected, because right now with surround sound headphones or a surround sound system, you can hear anybody within like a mile.
Unreal.
Yeah, it's super loud, and that's something that needs to be adjusted as well, because I feel like that kind of stuff, that kind of feedback, especially for people who are using surround sound stuff, that gives them a huge advantage because there's no flanking. There's no flanking with them when you can hear somebody that far away running around a corner.
That's correct.
Genosaurus Rex says, I think instead of making a new game, they should have just remastered Modern Warfare 2. You know, I thought that was coming.
That's a good point. A lot of people wanted that.
No,
I mean, honestly,
I thought that was coming at some point because we've already seen the first one remastered, and by and large, Modern Warfare 2 made a ton more money than Modern Warfare 1. Modern Warfare 2 was at one point one of the biggest launches in video game history.
Modern Warfare 2 is huge.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 2 was a massive game, and after we saw Modern Warfare 1 get remastered, I thought at some point we were going to get Modern Warfare remastered.
It will eventually. They'll attach it to one of their shitty titles that's coming out.
Right. That's how they push Advanced Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Or Ghost 2.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, God.
Stop. And you know what? I hope they do. I hope they do, because Spec Ops is an absolute joke in this one.
Yes.
And if they want to make remaster Modern Warfare 2, go ahead and bring back the real Spec Ops for me, please.
You listening, Infinity Ward?
Seriously, they're not. Nobody is. But anyways,
especially with
it's Gen Rex also said, I enjoy the new Modern Warfare, especially with the 2v2, but I feel the remaster of 2 would have been a better call. I love 2v2.
2v2 is pretty cool. Fuck 2v2 though.
He loves it, but he hates it. I agree. Both you guys, both Gen Rex and Gen Wifey. The gunfight is a fantastic mode. I love gunfight. It's incredible. A lot of fun. It was super sunny when I was playing it before, but then we jumped into a match where it was us 4 and like a friendly game of it, and that shit was hilarious.
Yeah, a friendly game of it.
me just destroying everybody in the room. It was kind of boss. Dude, it was boss.
It was that toss was boss.
That toss was boss.
It didn't hit you, but it was fucking close.
And you died in a magnificent way doing that toss. You got shot in the nuts.
Yeah.
Sniper shot to the nuts.
It's right to the.
Or was it 725?
Probably was at that fucking range. You don't even fucking matter.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you probably would, Gene Wife. Anybody would.
Wow, she's bringing that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's all she's been playing. I think she said she was up late playing Call of Duty like all night recently, didn't you, or something? Like you're like, oh, sometimes on Discord she'll just be up in random time. I mean, she's in the UK.
Oh,
so if I'm up late and she's still up,
that's late. Wow. Well, I tell you what, anytime that you want to play instead of Tone, I would gladly take you out, Gene Wife. So I would definitely play with you as opposed to Tone. So that's where we're at on Call of Duty. Yeah. There's stuff they need to tweak up, but by and large, we're having a lot of fun with it. It's a really good game. Dude, and the crossplay thing is really nice.
Cool.
Crossplay is really nice to be able to hop on there, play with the guys who are on Xbox, play with the guys who are on PS4, and even PC. Shadow Yakumo was playing with Prime this morning. He was on PC playing with Prime the other day.
I mean, we both play on PS4. A lot of the people we play with are on PS4, actually. So, yeah, it is nice to have crossplay. What a world that we live in, that's now finally a thing.
It's a thing.
Other games start jumping on that shit, please, because get the fuck out now.
My understanding is Ubisoft said going forward, all of their stuff is going to be crossplay.
Fucking boners.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Awesome. They need to have that because crossplay, and even, it's crossplay and it's also cross-save. All of your progress you make on PS4 or Xbox One carries over to the other platforms. So when you play on multiplayer I have it on both consoles because I'm a loser.
Right.
When I play on PS4, I'll have my level 55 guy, and then when I go over to Xbox One, everything I have unlocked is ready to go right there. It's really, really nice. So kudos to them for making that happen.
Cross saves and crossplay.
They're huge, dude. They're huge.
At least cross saves.
At least cross save.
Jesus,
at least give me cross save. That's been a blessing in Destiny too. Oh my god, I love that.
Save.
So now we're going to switch up gears. We're going to go from Call of Duty, Activision, an annual thing, to Hideo Kojima, a once every 10 years type of guy.
Kojima-san.
Kojima-san. So we have to talk about Death Stranding.
We have to.
First, we got a story trailer,
Yes.
a lengthy story trailer, a
Yes.
7 and almost an 8-minute story trailer. That was pretty wild. There was some. This was a crazy trailer, but we got to see a lot more of the stuff we're going to be doing, or at least some of the plot lines, some of the things we'll be exploring. Even at almost 8 minutes, I still came away from this going, still kind of curious to what this is truly going to be about.
Right.
You know, and that's always the beauty with a Hideo Kojima game, especially his trailers. You know, everyone's always been talking about, like, oh, I don't know what the hell this game is about. Do you remember the first Metal Gear 5 trailer when it was called Phantoms or something? And nobody knew what the hell that game was. And
All they showed was that first couple of cutscenes.
Yeah, and then you see the huge whale and everyone's like, what the fuck game is this?
Right, and they were just hyped on pain meds.
And then like a week or two later, all of a sudden they're like, here, there's Snake. Okay, now I know who this is. All right, cool. Same with PT. Remember when PT came out, everyone thought, oh, this is a scary game demo by Hideo Kojima. And then at the end, it was like, holy shit, Silent Hill?
Right. Oh my God, let's not get into that topic.
I know, that was super painful.
I lost my save on that.
But I mean, this trailer was awesome. I mean, we got to see a lot of Mads Mikkelsen. We got to see a lot of the main players in this game. I'm super hyped to play this, even though I have no idea what's going on.
Right.
But that's a testament to Hideo Kojima. That's a testament to his catalog, his career, his resume. Everything that he's done has been so unique. It's such an interesting take on certain genres. To see him finally branch off from Metal Gear, we saw a little bit of what he could have done with horror. We saw a little bit of MPT, and then obviously that fell through. Now we get to see a little bit a real heavy take on sci-fi here. But this is obviously not a Metal Gear game.
I mean, even Zone of the Enders, that's one a lot of people forget. There's a very, very huge crowd behind Zone of the Enders. You know, that's another big title that he did. But yeah, now and they just announced this week, just kind of throw it out there. Apparently he is going to be working on a movie.
Is he
I've
working
been reading
on a movie?
that in the last day or two. Now it's time. I think he's seriously going to try and do a movie. So that said, I mean, but that's Hideo. Hideo is yes, he's a genius for you naysayers. He's very artsy. He's a visionary. He likes to use real world things and transform them. It's funny. It's the way I explain Metal Gear. Metal Gear is a westernized looking game, right? It looks like an army, like an American army game. People that look American, like a lot of even anime tend to, but it's told from this Japanese sci-fi fantasy story thing. So you know that this game for sure, of anything, really is going to be crazy sci-fi. But more importantly, you know, I mean, he created he will say, and I tend to agree, he created the stealth genre basically with the original Metal Gears and stuff like that. He's creating now, he says, the Stranding genre, which in some of the stuff we've talked about before, you know, but keep in mind, everybody, the part of the reason that the original dual analog controller in the PlayStation 1 was created was for Metal Gear Solid specifically.
Right. I
had to buy that a month before the game come out, just so I could experience it and we had never done that. Was a new thing for us, everybody. You know what I mean? So, and that was 2 sticks, you know, where the N64 was doing the one stick, you know. So here we go. So, and that changed. That helped change a lot of things for FPSs and games going forward, you know. But overall, at the end of the day, you know, like, I'm excited for it because it's something new, it's something different. It's Hideo Kojima. Yes, it's going to be weird. Yes, it's probably going to be understanding. Yes, it's going to be heavy philosophical and metaphorical, but that's fun. Like, we're sitting here talking about Call of Duty. We like Call of Duty. We're having a good time, but we've been down those roads before to a certain degree, you know, to a degree, you know. So now we're getting something like we have no idea what's going to be happening. People are calling it a fetch quest and your walking simulator. And this, like, I'm intrigued by the fact that the more stuff you carry, it's going to make it harder for you to walk and yet survive, you know, so you got to balance the stuff and do this and the other. One of the guys I saw talk about it said that the more he played it, he was like, well, this is kind of like slow. He didn't say boring. He's like, can I play this for the 70, 80, 100 hours or whatever? And he's like, but you know what? He's like, I kept wanting to keep playing it and not put it down. And even he said that, you know, some of the stuff you were getting with the stories and stuff like that was very intriguing. And bottom line, it's layered.
Right.
Everybody's going to get something different from it, whether it's gameplay, whether it's story, whether it's an emotional feeling and a tie. And there is an element of multiplayer to it. So kind of like how Dark Souls does, like the souls or the spirits, like of your other friends and stuff like that. things that your friends can do in Death Stranding will affect your game, like whether they leave you this or leave you that, and this, that, and the other. So who knows what that's going to entail?
Right.
And that's part of the Stranding, I think. So
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot going on there. I think it's going to be one of those kind of games that's going to make you kind of think a little bit about life and death as well too.
And see, that's the thing with Hideo Kojima games. They're never as straightforward as they appear to be, or that people try to make them out to be, or they think that it's going to be. This is going to be one of those games where people are either going to love it or hate it. I think because it's like you said. Depending on how invested you are in the story, or how invested you are in what the story is about,
Right?
How philosophical is it going to be?
How open-minded you are?
How open? How open are you? Just going in expecting a Metal Gear stealthy kill, shoot, and whatnot game? If that's what you're going in, you might be disappointed.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I haven't played it. I don't even know what to expect going in.
Right.
But like you mentioned, you have to go into these games with an open mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go in, play it, and if you don't like it, that's fine. If you give it a fair shake and you don't like the game, so be it.
Shoot, I might not even like. Who knows?
Hey,
we don't know.
I love the man's work. I like come on this thing going, this game sucks.
Yeah.
I have no idea. All I know is I can go by his resume, his track record, which is incredible.
Yeah.
The man knows how to make a good game. So I'm excited to check it out, but we need to talk a little bit about the reviews. Because the reviews dropped this week. Pikachu's in the chat. Hey, what's going on, Pikachu?
Gene Rex, actually, it is right now PlayStation exclusive, but it's timed, I believe. That
it's coming to PC in the summer of 2020.
Was there any Xbox news on that?
No.
Okay. It is okay.
PC only at this time, but I'm assuming at this point, PC,
someday maybe we'll see.
I'm going to assume that this is a PC only. This is going to be the only way it's going to go, since because they're using the Decima engine, which came from Guerrilla Games.
Oh, that's right. I forget that. That's
so I think
Guerrilla Games in-house.
is I think PC is one of those areas where it's okay to take your exclusives. Obviously, Microsoft's been doing it. It's on Windows. A lot of the Gears
integrated,
games. And at the same time, I kind of dig that. Because it gives you an opportunity to see these games kind of at a higher setting.
Sure.
When you go in and you play Gears 5, or when you go in and play Sea of Thieves,
a lot of people are
60 frames. That shit looks hot, dude.
Yeah.
Crackdown 3, 60 frames on PC. Not only is that game fun, but when it's running at 60 frames, that shit is pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So the idea of being able to play a game like a Death Stranding at 60 frames at a higher graphical fidelity, that's always going to be appealing.
That's true.
I picked up Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC just so I can see what this thing looks like at 60 frames.
You're not alone. A lot of people did.
That's why I don't mind the whole PC thing. That's why I expect this to stay on PC. I don't think this is going to make its way over to Xbox or anything like that.
Okay, my bad.
But no, let's talk about the reviews because the reviews dropped. And there's a lot of people
excited. Yeah, about a week ago.
They dropped at 3 a.m. on Friday last week. Now, when a publisher like Sony or Xbox or Nintendo, when they release a review, when their embargo for a review drops a week early, they're confident. That's a sign of confidence.
True.
Because a lot of these games, they'll drop, the Call of Duty drops at midnight, the night it comes out.
Right.
So Call of Duty drops then, but they already know people are going to go out and buy it, so they don't give a shit.
Right.
But some of these games, when a publisher has, especially one of their big exclusives, when Xbox does, or when Nintendo does it, or when Sony does it, when they put those reviews out, those embargoes a week early, very common, because reviews can hurt. If a game comes out and it gets trashed by reviews a week early,
it can stop a sale.
You got to go out there and you got to fucking damage control for a week. So when a publisher says, put that embargo a week out, they feel good about what they got.
Again, to the name of Hideo Kojima and the track record.
I mean, they know. They have an understanding. They like, look, man, this guy is going to kick out some shit game. But the reviews came out, sitting comfortably at an 85 on Metacritic, which is good. That's
a buy.
Good. Yeah, that's a buy. Yeah, that's okay. That's what I want it to be. But when you dig into these reviews,
they are very interesting.
When you dig into these reviews, there's some polarizing reviews. I mean, there's a lot of, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of 10s. There's a couple 3s and 4s and 6. I mean, there's some down at the low end. So that tells me right away, it's what I gotta decide for myself.
Right.
I'm gonna have to decide for myself if this game's good or not.
Yeah, I agree.
But here's the crazy thing about these reviews, man. I mean, some of these are just so bizarre. They're so bizarre. Like, let's take a look. Here's IGN's. There is a fascinating, fleshed-out world of supernatural science fiction to enjoy across its sprawling and spectacular map. It's a real shame that's all been settled on gameplay backbone that struggles to adequately support its weight over the full course of the journey. I actually think IGN's review sounds decent. I'm like, okay, look, you didn't like the gameplay. It's settled with a gameplay backbone that struggles to adequately support its weight. Gameplay is integral to having a good time of the game. It has to be fun
That's
to
true.
play. So if they didn't have fun playing with it, I would expect them to give a good score. They talk about the fascinating, fleshed out, supernatural sci-fi world. That shit has me intrigued. We saw that in the first couple trailers. Like, man, this is a fucking crazy world. Hype. I want to see what he does here. So IGN's review comes out. And then there is PlayStation Lifestyle review. Okay, here's the next one. Now, this is a 95. This is a 9.5. I'm going to read you the first couple sentences, and you tell me this is going to be a game that's going to get a 9.5 from this guy. Death Stranding is not a fun game.
Okay.
But it's an important and meaningful experience that earns its payoff through every bit of frustration and slog. Oh, a lot of frustration and slogging. Okay, that's number 2.
What is slogging?
I don't know what slogging is. I think that's what you do when... Don't go blind if you do it too much.
Yeah,
I don't even
like
know.
hair on your palms.
Something like that, yeah. You'll be bored at times and downright frustrated at others.
What?
Man, this is a fucking sweet
Wow.
review. I want to go pick this up right now. This sounds great. But
Two Worlds 2 over here.
it comes with a great reward at the end. What reward are we talking about at the end? A happy ending?
I hope so.
Like a happy ending?
I really, really hope so.
Is that if I'm playing with you? I think it is a happy ending. At the end, it is made much sweeter by the trials that precede it. It's brilliantly unique in its design and implementation of online elements.
It almost sounds like looking at a piece of Picasso art.
Right, I fucking hate this. I fucking hate this.
Yeah,
I fucking hate this. But man,
yeah,
what a beaut!
like Picasso is like abstract, and like for me,
Yeah.
abstract art is really hard to get into.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
But you gotta appreciate it because somebody's going at it going, holy shit!
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You're like, what? And that's kind of like I feel like they give it a 9.5.
Yeah.
And that's what they're saying. Now you did say, because I asked a question that says PlayStation on it's PlayStation exclusive.
PlayStation Lifestyle is a site that I trust. I trust the reviews because they're very objective. They can come out sit there and say this game. So they've trashed multiple PlayStation exclusives in the past. Now that doesn't mean that they're legitimate, but when I read the context of their reviews,
they gave some context.
Yeah, they're giving a lot of context, and they will be honest with you. And I understand, dude. I don't need a reviewer to tell me if this game is if their review is more important than everyone else's. Okay, if they don't like a game, I understand. As long as they're giving me context and things why they don't like it,
that's important.
That's
Context
cool.
important.
Even then, it's not going to change my mind about the game until I play it.
True.
I have to go and play it and discover for myself, figure out if it's any good. And then you have, I think it's called The Survivor. Here's their review.
What the fuck?
A 3.5.
Wah, wah,
Here's what he thinks of your
wah.
art, Tone.
Yeah, here's what he thinks.
Death Stranding is an irredeemable piece of garbage that should serve as a warning to publishers who give developers carte blanche to create art.
That's really got a lot of context, though. So you want to explain that 35 a little bit more?
I'm going to just assume this guy doesn't like art.
No.
He does not know how to look at art. He does not know how to interpret it. And it just says, you know what? I can't shoot things. I'm out of here.
Right.
But at the end of the day, this is just a small excerpt from the review. I have no idea if this is a 2,000-word review. No idea. You know, he or she could have gone into great detail. Maybe there's, but it just goes. The point I want to make is I want to show you is just this is how polarizing this title has been. When you see a game that's getting 10s and 10s and 10s and 10s, you don't expect to see 3, 5s, and 6s at the bottom.
No, you really don't.
But that's why it just shows it's all across the map, and that goes to show you that when it comes to a Hideo Kojima game, it's all about interpretation. It's all about how you take it. It's all about what you are, if you're open-minded to it, or if you have predetermined expectations, or something like that. But it's just interesting. It was just really interesting to see some of these reviews pop up. I was like, God dang, this is really just kind of all over the map. But for the most part, it is reviewed very well. You know, it's like I said, it's an 85 on Metacritic, which is a strong score. It's a good score to have. Congratulations to Hideo Kojima. Now let's see if that translates to sales.
Yeah, once everybody starts getting their hands on, I don't know. I don't think the sales are going to be super huge. I think just like me being a big fan, I think there's some of us, out there that are really big fans, have a lot of faith in his work. But Metal Gear, mostly in PlayStation, like trying to play that game on the original NES cart. Fuck no.
Right.
Any NES cart, in my opinion. Not any, but that's a whole other topic. But he did create stealth genre. He did reinvent it for himself, though. I do still give some credit to the Tenchu games in PlayStation. Just saying, huge fan. With Metal Gear Solid, but also he created this geopolitical story that you didn't realize was geopolitical as he's telling it.
Right.
It's pretty wild.
You just think it's a stealth game.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
pretty wild.
And
it gets
if you
deep.
want to play it as a stealth game, you can, and
Yeah.
you'll get a lot out of it.
Yeah.
But like you said, if you kind of step back
Yeah.
and take everything in,
Yep.
and pay attention to all the
Whole different
cutscenes
world.
and everything else, you get a whole new layer.
Mhm.
And the other thing I want to mention about these reviews that I think is interesting, and we talked about it before the show, is you mentioned in the one review the online elements are fantastic. There's a lot of online elements here that are really interesting.
Mhm.
When these reviews come out, there's not millions of people online playing.
No,
it,
not at all.
okay,
2,000 maybe.
There's maybe a couple hundred.
Yeah, maybe.
You know,
Yeah, you're right.
'cause
Yeah.
these are just big time review sites that are getting it, so maybe 100 at the most. We don't really know how effective or how meaningful these online elements are until we all play this game on Friday.
I think it'll be interesting if we get a few of us that are playing it
Mm-hmm.
and even sit in a fucking PSN party chat and fuck around with some shit and try to figure some shit out.
Yep.
Fuck it.
And that's the one thing I've been kind of sitting back thinking about. Is like, man, what if this game doesn't really fully blossom until you have
Right.
millions of people in there playing? Because everything is connected.
Yeah.
Everything in this game is connected. So it's very, very interesting to think about what all did they get to really experience reviewing this game? Did they get to experience what this game will fully, truly, blossom into when it's out and launch and everybody's playing it?
Correct.
So-
And the last thing I want to say, I think, before we move on, is, and this is going to be a generalized statement, but mostly since we've been dealing with this one, is just like anything else recently, there's a lot of the hate culture,
Mhm.
pre-release hate culture, people hating on stuff that comes out before they touch it, before they
Yep.
know about it, before they understand it.
Yep.
Sometimes it's bigger than you.
Yep.
Honestly, sometimes it does require a little extra either thinking or objectivity, So, first of all, I'm going to tell everybody to knock it off, but because I'm excited about it. But let's wait and see.
Yep.
We'll play it, and maybe in a couple weeks when we come back here, we'll have some words to say. Okay, what we've felt about it after
Mhm.
this, and I think that'll be interesting to kind of like compare the two.
So here's what I want to ask you, Tone.
Yeah.
Do you think this is going to be a game you're going to want to stream? Or is this a game you're going to want to play offline and kind of like take in? Because this is going to be a game, if it's going to require you to really like dive into the story
Yeah.
and analyze things, do you think this is a good game to
It'll
stream?
be a combo for me. I'm always a combo.
Mhm.
Like some games I just do play offline because I'm really into it, Ghost Recon or whatever, But I think this is going to be one where, because I play a lot of RPGs and that can be hard to stream if you get a lot of cutscenes and
True.
things too.
True.
But some games like Kingdoms of Amalur, there's a lot of combat, and a lot of quest fetching, so it's not as bad.
Right.
But I kind of want to stream it, and I kind of want to play it and stream it with the people that are playing it because I feel like it'll be good for some conversation.
Good conversation. No, I like that. I think it's a really good idea.
Definitely be streaming it.
I think that's a really good
Again,
idea. Yeah,
for sure.
it's something that I'm probably going to play offline first, just to really kind of get my bearings on what the story
That's fair.
is early on. But as I dig into the game and kind of explore all the different mechanics to it, and you get into that open world and you're exploring things
Right.
and you're making your connections with other players in however manner you're going to do
Mhm.
that, then yeah, I think that'd be an interesting point to kind of to stream and kind of give other people a look.
Explore it together.
Explore together, hand in hand.
Right.
Now, I don't know. Is this going to be? I'm going to be my own playing instance. Is this going to be like a No Man's Sky where it's
That's my guess.
what
Like
is it called,
OG,
synchronized or
no
something?
No Man's Sky. Yeah, I think that's my thoughts right now. I don't know enough about that part of it, honestly.
And see, I think that is the most interesting thing because you're trying to figure out how much more to this game is there.
And with the fact that it's life and death is involved, and
Yeah.
as he calls it, Hades. Like,
Mhm.
if you do die, what are the implications for either world?
Yep.
No,
And he's made a point that this is also about people connecting.
exactly.
So, I mean, is there going to be things that I do in my world
Yeah.
that are somehow going to connect to your
Butterfly
world?
effect.
That's fucking wild when you think
We
about
don't
it,
fucking
dude.
know.
And again, that's something that you can't truly get if there's just 100 reviewers out there playing.
Right.
I mean, you probably get a little bit of it, but at the same time, when you have millions of people playing,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I think you'll really see
Right.
how impactful and how important the online connectivity portion is. So it's really, really interesting. It's gonna be cool to see how it works out this weekend. Yeah, I'm hyped, dude.
Yeah, in
I'm
2
really
weeks
excited.
we're gonna talk about it in 2 weeks.
We'll definitely talk about it in 2 weeks, but I'm sure at some point we'll both be streaming it, kind of
Yeah.
talking about, like he said, sort of a party chat. If anyone else is out there playing it, you're more than welcome to join. Maybe we can all kind of just have a
Yeah,
big
please.
powwow about it.
Yeah.
Because it could be one of those games that just that gets better with the word of mouth and the conversations that people the conversations that it instigates with people. I think it could be really, really interesting.
Absolutely.
So, Joe Shinobi, we were just talking about Death Stranding. That's Kojima's big title dropping this Friday unlocking at midnight on PSN.
Mhm.
Hype, check it out. So we'll definitely be talking about that in 2 weeks. I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about in that
Absolutely.
regard. So, moving on.
There is some not necessarily multiplayer elements, Joe, but there are multiplayer elements. We really don't know.
Tell them. It could be very similar to what we saw in OG No Man's Sky.
Or like a Dark Souls.
Like a Dark Souls, where you can kind of see, change or something that I've done in my game, or in my world, that might
Affect
somehow
yours.
affect your world. Or
Right.
you'll see something that'll indicate a choice that I made.
Or your spirit.
My spirit. I mean, who knows?
Ghosts,
don't
ghosts
know.
and spirits, yeah. So
We
yeah.
don't know.
Mhm.
So that's the beauty of a Hideo Kojima game. You just don't know until you play the fucking
exactly,
thing. So
exactly.
hyped for it. That drops on Friday. All right. We're going to switch up gears.
Switching the
We're
gears.
going to go from
Woo-hoo!
video games over to television. We're going to
Television.
talk a little bit about some stuff we've been watching. Now, first of all, next week is Disney Plus.
Woot.
That's a big one. We're going to talk about that in a little bit because there's something that you're really hyped about.
Woot.
But this past weekend,
Yeah.
Apple Plus dropped. That's their streaming service, Apple Plus, but they have all their own original content.
Everybody doing it.
They've had some big shows come out. I think there's the one that the talk show or something, a title like that with Steve Carell, Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon. I mean, just a powerhouse cast that focuses on a lot of things in that world. But the one that I was interested in is called C with Jason Momoa. And it's got a strong cast. Alfred Woodard's in it. There's a lot of good actors and actresses in this in this show. And basically, what C is it's got a cool premise. Okay, it's got a cool premise where the planet Earth was overrun by a plague of some sort years ago.
Okay.
And the population got dwindled down to like 2 million people.
Okay.
Worldwide,
That's
2 million people
okay.
left. A lot of people died.
2 mil.
And everybody who's remaining is blind. Can't see shit.
For whatever reason, genetically.
Yep.
Okay.
Something happened where everybody can't see. And any kids they have, they can't see either. Nobody can see. And the reason behind it is it was the gods making a decision to wipe out people's eyes so the earth could clean itself, it could fix itself because of, we were seeing things. Obviously, people, you can create things, bombs, wars, and all that stuff. You can't do a lot of that shit with vision.
Okay.
So they remove it so people just kind of like, the earth can fix itself or what have you.
Now, are the gods are saying, is that what they believe is the gods that have done this? Like
that's the story. That's
their-
the belief now.
okay, because we don't know if the gods are like in this mythos real, right?
We have no idea.
Okay,
Right.
fair enough. Go on.
And so anyway, so you got all these people, and it stars Jason Momoa. He's like the head of one of these villages, one of these small gatherings of people that live all together.
Mhm.
And he comes across this woman one night. You don't get to see it, but they kind of just explain where she comes from. And she's pregnant with 2 kids.
Oh, dang.
And so she has 2 kids. She gives birth. And at the same time, there is a posse of witch hunters that are coming to this village because they suspect that the woman there that has come there with the 2 kids that Jason Momoa has fallen in love with, they suspect she's a witch.
Oh, man.
And so they try to get into it a little bit. I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Right.
But they kind of get into it and they find out that the kids can see.
Ooh.
2 children that she gave birth to can see, and their father is they call him a heretic. He can see as well. So there's this whole story developing about how can he see and how big of an impact can these kids have if they can see. They can change the world.
Absolutely.
They can
That's
change the
power.
world.
At that
Yeah.
point, that's power.
They do some. There's some cool ways they explore that. You can kind of see these kids as they're growing up. There's some decisions they made. There's some things they have to do where they're just kind of like, wow, I really have a lot of power because I can see.
So okay. Can I ask?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the dad, like,
Yep.
did she know that he could see? I mean, how do you talk about that? Like, hey, they're going on a date. Like, hey, baby, looking good, and you're.
She doesn't know. He never told her.
So he can see, but never told her.
Yep.
So that okay. So I mean. that's
But now
interesting.
here's the thing. Okay, now this is a sci-fi show. This is a sci-fi inspired show taking place in an apocalyptic world.
Right.
Okay? And nobody can see you. Now this all sounds really cool. On paper, you're like, man, that sounds pretty badass.
That's a cool premise.
Yeah,
I'm into that.
Civilization is blind. And
I'm into that.
And they're
I'm into
living
it.
and they're and they're moving forward with life and they can't see and whatnot.
Right.
But the hardest thing about this show is everyone's almost like kind of like back to the Stone Age in terms of how they fight.
Oh, I would imagine you
But
can't. Right.
here's the thing: like a lot of these fight scenes are incredibly well choreographed.
They're well choreographed?
Yes, these
Really?
are like warriors fighting with swords and shit.
Wait a minute.
Right.
So they're all Daredevil.
right.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, that's
Checking.
the thing. That's the thing that's making it a little difficult to buy into. Like, you really have to suspend disbelief for a little bit, because the more you see things, the more things happen. Like you see what I mean?
Yeah, clever.
The more things that you happen to come upon and see.
Right.
But what's up, Presto?
What up, Presto?
But yeah, so like, and then once you see the fight scenes, you're like, wow, how can they do this when they're blind? Very interesting that they're doing acrobatic moves and they're punching people.
Right. They're ninjas.
How are these people doing this? They can't
My
see.
heightened senses.
So, and I get that seeing other playing like, hey, look, these people have been here for hundreds of
I guess
years,
your senses.
and they're blind, so their senses are heightened. Yeah, there are characters that can hear miles away and all this stuff.
Oh,
okay. There's some sci-fi elements that
And that's
really
cool.
cool.
I'm cool with a lot of that.
Which is fine.
I'm cool.
But then you start seeing other things. They start building like these houses when they find a new area to live, and these are really nice looking places. Like, they're very well put together, and some of the clothing that they're wearing it's very well designed stuff. You're like, if I'm blind, dude, I'm wearing a fucking green screen as a shirt, and I'm wearing my.
I wouldn't wear pants. Doesn't matter.
I'm not wearing pants.
No,
Nobody
man.
can see. I won't wear anything. Yeah,
No,
except for when it's cold. Then I'd probably wear
like a loincloth.
But I mean, everyone's got their hair braided. Everyone's got makeup on. I'm just like, okay, like, I want to believe your story here, but you're asking me to make a lot of a lot of exceptions here. And so the more that goes on, it's the story. It's interesting. Like, I'm really interested in it, and I want to see where they go with it. The first 3 episodes are. The next episode drops on Friday night. But there are just some. The story. It's hard to believe. I'm buying into it because of one thing I will say is the acting is very, very good.
Oh, that sounds like they got
Jason
the right people
Momoa
involved.
is very, very good in this show. He's very good. Alfre Woodard is very, very good as like she's like the village doctor, kind of a witch. She's very, very good. I don't know if you've ever seen Alfre Woodard, who she is. She is in. Do you ever see Scrooged with Bill Murray?
A long time.
Anyway, she's the secretary.
Okay.
She's the secretary. She's in a lot of other good movies. She's
Long Untitled members.
She's a very, very good actress. And everybody else involved, incredibly well done performance. Everyone's really committed to their roles. So that's the only thing that makes it's just kind of a little jarring is it's a show that takes itself very seriously. There's a lot of great performances, but it's just the story. It's hard to buy into some of these things.
Okay.
But if it wants to keep pushing forward and be interesting and kind of fall into that campy category, it's a little campy at times. I can get behind that because I like camp. Yeah, I like.
Yeah. I watch 80s.
As long as it's self-aware of its campiness.
Yeah.
As long and we saw a little bit in the 3rd episode. There's some levity from Jason Momoa that's actually appreciated. Like, okay, that's kind of funny that he said that. Or this happens. That's kind of funny. But it's not like, oh my god, it's hilarious. It's just like, okay. You move on to the next thing, and that stuff I think makes everything else a little bit easier to swallow because you're like, okay, it's a little goofy, but I kind of dig it. So, it's a cool show. Production values are through the roof. Performances are great. Story is a little off. It hasn't reviewed very well. I think it's at like a 39 on Metacritic.
Ooh.
It's kind of rough.
Ooh.
It's a little rough, but for the most part, I've watched 3 episodes. Goofiness aside, I think it's actually a pretty entertaining
You've
show.
watched something worse, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, God, yes. Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I judge a show by...
Thanks for those sparks.
When I sit down and I watch the show, if it goes by quick, I'm entertained, that's all I really need.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all I really need. And, and if it's got a great story and all this stuff, then that's even better. So, I like what I've seen. Next episode comes out on Friday night. I'll be curious to see where they go with it. But I like what I've seen so far. And
I don't have any Apple TV app.
Oh my God, Toad.
So I can't even watch it. So I can't even see it.
Suck it! No, but there are some cool looking shows on there as well. There's another one I want to get into that kind of takes place in an alternate reality. I believe it's during the Cold War. But like messing with Russia.
That one's called Here.
No, you see here, yeah, I can't hear it. But no, the show that one, that's the other one I want to start to watch too. It looks really. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I actually have the 3 episodes downloaded. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but that one looks really, really good as well. If you've been checking out if you've been watching it, let us know in the comments. Or if you're watching this on demand, or if you're watching anywhere on demand, either Facebook or YouTube, let us know in the comments what you think of C. I want to get your thoughts on it. I think it's one of those shows that, if you don't like it, if you can look past some of the holes in the story, it's actually an enjoyable show.
Premise sounds good.
Oh
Cool.
yeah, I dig it, dude. Now we're gonna jump over to the big one that comes out
big
next
one.
week. All right, next week Disney Plus comes out.
Yes.
This is a big one.
Yes.
This is something you're very, very excited about because the Muppets. Every episode will be available.
I am a big fan of the Muppets, actually.
Just joking. The big one is Mandalorian. I know that's the one that you're really,
Oh,
really
man.
hyped about. Tell me about Mandalorian. Now, let me ask you, because judging by everything
Right.
I've seen here, this is about Boba Fett.
Nope.
Shit. I thought it was. What's
That's
it about?
a negative.
Oh.
So the Mandalorian is actually about another bounty hunter, because this takes place about 5 years after ROTJ, Revenge of the Jedi.
Okay.
And you're kind of like seeing, so the Battle of Jakku happened, which is actually what ended the Galactic Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
You learn that in Battlefront 2 between the Empire, the Rebellion, etc. And then they start creating the New Republic, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
On the Outer Rim, places where like Tatooine is at, it's always been kind of the Wild West, right? So now even more so, because there's really a tug of war of different types of pockets of like governors and moffs trying to get power and things like that too. And while trying to, rebellion's trying to, or not, excuse me, rebellion, but a republic, and trying to create some form of law. There is no law probably out there that in the Outer Rim. There never really has been. So, this follows Amanda, to not get too crazy started, because I could talk about this probably. I could get a little crazy, but the Mandalorian is actually a race of people, and you don't see a lot of, even during like the OG movies, you don't hear a lot about them. It really was more fleshed out in either comics or in recent years. That's a funny one. Cap, you piece of shit. In like Clone Wars and Rebels, mostly Clone Wars, they actually explore the Mandalorian bloodline a lot more, and they do in Rebels because of Sabine Wren. So this is a guy he's a Mandalorian. We don't know a lot about him.
Mm-hmm.
He's out in the Outer Rim. We don't know what he's doing. Who knows what's driving him?
Right.
They said in the first episode right away there is a huge canon spoiler for all of Star Wars. My guess, if I had to, is you're gonna see confirmation that either Boba Fett is still alive or dead. I could be wrong on that, because I don't think he's on Tatooine, but he could be on Tatooine. Whatever reason the Star Wars universe loves deserted desert planets. I don't get the bit. I really never have. No, we don't have it set up for a call-in as soon, Evan Fire.
We're actually thinking about that, Evan.
We've been talking about that.
We're thinking about finding a way to get people in to share comments on the stuff that we're talking about. That is something we're thinking about. So
yes, for sure. But not you. So who knows what's going on out there? I can't think of the guy's name who plays Gustavo in Breaking Bad. He plays he looks like some form of either governor or like an ex-general of a squad of like death troopers or something, who you don't see these death troopers except for in Rogue One, and they're nowhere else in anything else until you see what looks like them in Mandalorian, which is 5 years after ROTJ. So that's pretty interesting as well too. But yeah, I'm very excited, and it's not so. There's mostly that because it's the Mandalorian. It's a bounty hunter. It's all Wild West. I'm a big Boba Fett fan. There's things that his look and aesthetic is actually ironically kind of taken from the holiday special, because his rifle, the Boba Fett in the cartoon, the holiday special where they first introduced Boba Fett, had a vibro pike, and it's got like the 2-prong or whatever. His rifle has that, and his helmet also kind of looks in very generic colors, looks like that character model, because it's the silver instead of like the blue. It's very, very generic, which is kind of cool because it's kind of like a silent nod to it. The ship actually looks like the bounty hunter ships that they use in the Knights of the Old Republic MMO, which is pretty cool, I think. And more importantly, it's the people involved. We've got the father of the current MCU, Jon Favreau, involved.
Yes, Jon Favreau.
And if you're a huge Star Wars fan and a huge fan of the Clone Wars and Rebels, which you could debate is some of the best Star Wars anything that's come out in the last decade or two, Dave Filoni involved. He should be running it, not Kathleen Kennedy, and you can put that down, Bob Iger, right now. Right now.
Wow.
Dave Filoni's involved. And even some of the cast members, they got Gina Carino in it. Pedro Pascal's who plays the Mandalorian. If you guys seen like
He was in
He was in
Game
The
of
Kingsman.
Thrones.
He was in Game of Thrones.
He
He was the Red Viper.
Yes, the Red Viper.
He's a
Yep.
great actor, and
Dude, he
which
was
is-
awesome in Game of Thrones. And dude, when he dies in
really
Game
wa-
of Thrones,
I know.
oh
I
my
know,
god,
I know.
I was so fucking
Yeah, 'cause
crushed.
you were so hyped,
Literally
dude, like-
crushed like he was.
Because there's not a lot of characters that came into that, and you were like,
Yes.
oh shit, you champion behind. He was one you definitely did.
Man.
And who else am I missing? Oh, Carl Weathers. And
Shut up! Is Carl Weathers in
Carl
this?
Weathers is actually directing an episode next season because they signed on for season 2 already. Yes, Carl Weathers is involved as well too.
I love
So the
Carl,
cast
man.
in it is insane.
Yeah, that's a good
for one.
cast.
So we're finally, and this is the thing that makes Dave Filoni different than everybody else, including honestly to some degree. There's shades of him. Ron Howard did a great job bringing Solo back around. He did like 80% some reshoots. He brought it together. Yeah, he really brought it together because he loves Star Wars. Dave Filoni loves Star Wars, and he has grounded everything that he's done in the Clone Wars. Rebels, the second series that came after that, I will debate anybody all day. It's better than Clone Wars, and there's no piece of anything that's come out since Disney has owned it visually that has the true heart of Star Wars that Rebels can do.
Mhm.
So the fact that he's involved in this, they've got 12 episodes, I think it is, for this first season, I want to say, and they've already working on season 2. Holy shit.
It's
If you're a
wild.
Star Wars fan, you liked Rogue One, you like that grounded, gritty, kind of the galactic Civil War feelings. You know, we're gonna see some probably the rise of the First Order, but there's apparently some Legends characters or like actual legacy characters that are going to be involved. Maybe not this season, or maybe they are, or in the next season. So what does that mean? Who knows?
Right.
So
That's wild.
yeah, so
That's wild.
that alone is exciting. Mandalorian. So yes, that's the main reason I'm excited about Disney Plus. However, as some of the stuff you see here, if you don't love Jeff Goldblum, you're a commie. That's going to be awesome. I think that show's going to be awesome. It's going to have so many shows on it right away. You're going to have most of the MCU. You're going to have those originals. You're going to have Gargoyles, the 90s cartoon Gargoyles, one of the coolest.
Damn.
Yeah, one of the coolest cartoons. You're going to have all like the old school like Goof Troop and DuckTales. I mean, who doesn't want to watch Darkwing Duck? Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, dude.
Right? So
oh, man.
you're gonna have so much stuff on there. It's $7.99 right now. I got a feeling that's gonna slowly fluctuate.
right.
I got a feeling.
right.
And then they're gonna say, hey, $12, we'll get rid of the ads and all that stuff. Fine, I'll give it to you. Like, I am one of those people. I know Disney is very controversial with people. I suck the teeth. I grab it like this. And like, I know they're a money making machine, and I'm throwing at
You're
them.
basically just use me.
Right.
at you, okay?
I'm going to Disney in January, and I've already booked my $200 lightsaber build and plan on buying extra kyber crystals, $15 a piece, to get another color.
Jeez.
Yes, I'm ready.
Dude,
So,
yeah,
yes.
that's wild. No, yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to check out Mandalorian.
That's right, you.
I'm excited a lot for the MCU shows that are gonna be popping up. I'm really excited for those. But
WandaVision.
mostly what I'm excited about, dude, is, and this is just because I love 4K.
Yeah.
A lot of the Disney movies, whether it's through Apple, iTunes, or what have you, if you buy them, they're not the 4K versions. The Disney and
Oh,
Apple
I
have
didn't
been
know that.
battling about that. Over every other time you buy a movie off iTunes, 4K, HDR, and all that stuff, all the Disney movies, MCU movies, Star Wars movies, all that stuff, 1080p. They won't go 4K.
Is that Disney?
Because Disney's saving that for
Yeah.
So, which is cool, because if you have all those movies bought on Apple iTunes, my understanding is it will transfer over. It'll recognize that. So when I have
the app.
Disney Plus on there, it'll
Oh.
recognize that I have those, and then I'll get to watch the 4K
Okay,
version.
that's a little shady, but fair.
Yeah, they've been locking horns for a long time, like over a year or two, over the rights to be able to show their 4K movies. So
Think about the Hulu stuff that's been going on. Disney now has 60%,
Yep.
61% ownage of Hulu, so that means they control TV.
Yep.
That's why you're seeing things like Rick and Morty now going to HBO,
Yep.
stuff like that too, because either Disney doesn't want them, or I'm gonna guess Disney doesn't want them. I think they're gonna use Hulu for a lot of other outlets too.
Yep.
Maybe some rated R Marvel stuff or
Right.
whatever.
Mhm.
Who knows? That's originally where that Ghost Rider was supposed to be, but that's kind of been actually talking about doing that as a movie now and
Yep.
bringing. So we'll see, but yeah, if you find the list online of Disney Plus stuff right on the get,
dude, there's a ton of shit.
It's a
Dude,
ton
we
of
had
shit.
it. We had it up for a minute. I kept scrolling. I was like, "What? All this?
it's
shit's
like
available?"
90 to 100 some other shit.
Oh yeah.
For
Like a-
$8 fucking bucks. And that's like, I remember growing up, like trying to like, oh, I want to buy Beauty and the Beast. Oh shit, it's in the vault, so you can't gonna get for like 5 years till they release out to VHS.
Right.
It is a thing.
Yep.
And now they're gonna say, give us 8 of your fucking clamshells, and you can watch whatever you want anytime.
It's hot, dude.
Aristocats.
Oh man. There's some good. Now was the Brave Little Toaster? Was it Disney?
No, I don't believe so.
Fuck.
I don't believe so. But Sword and
Now
Stone.
I'm canceling my service now.
You're canceling. You ain't canceling shit. You're gonna be sucking that teat like me
I just
next
wanted
week.
the Brave Little Toaster.
You're a brave little toaster.
That movie was sweet, dude.
It was.
No, I am really excited to check it out, man. Like I said, I'm excited to get all those movies in 4K and just kind of really dive into some of those movies that might have been lost in ether. I haven't seen in a long time since I was a kid.
Right.
Some cool shit I can show my kids. I am really excited for it. And it is interesting. You mentioned the price. $7.99. I know Apple Plus is $4.99, and there is a shit ton of streaming services out there now.
Oh yeah.
And somebody
stacking.
had a list written on Twitter the other day.
I thought.
And your price, if you sign up for all these services, all of a sudden your cable bill's not looking too bad. Which is interesting. That is interesting to think about. Now, for myself, I'm fortunate enough to work for a company where I can get my TV service for $10 a month, like HBO and stuff and all that.
I never put 2 and 2 together.
I get a little bit of wiggle room. I get a little bit of wiggle room, so now I can pick up. I have Netflix and I have, I'll be able to order, Apple Plus, Disney Plus. But even then, I don't want to start ordering all these fucking services. There's a lot in there. If you had to choose, Brave Little Toaster is an oddity.
It's not branded as Disney. He brings up a pretty interesting point there. Look at that.
What's that?
Written by Disney, but not branded as Disney.
Well, they're fucking lost, man.
That's crazy.
That is strange.
Good
I knew it had a Disney feel to it.
Yeah,
watching it, I was like,
good
this has
tip.
a Disney feel. I did not know that. Thank you, Evan. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you're right about that too, you.
So it was written by Disney, but it wasn't branded by Disney.
Which is how they put out their R-rated stuff, like when they do Deadpool, it'd be under
Yes.
whatever that, like,
Yep.
Paramount or something. I don't know.
Paramount? No, I think that was Fox, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't know. Disney's got that one where they put out the naughty movies and.
I thought it was Fox.
I don't know. Somebody figure that out. Now in the
Yeah,
chat, Evan, what is that? What is
he
He does Disney. What does Disney put out their R-rated stuff under?
I know back in the 80s they had a movie come out that was R-rated and they had it under Paramount, I think it was.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it was Paramount back in the day, but I want to say that Deadpool was a Fox.
Deadpool was definitely Fox, but now that it's owned by Disney.
Beforehand it was Paramount.
What I'm saying is Disney putting it out now as an R-rated. It won't be branded as Disney. They don't want to. Yeah, it is Paramount. Okay, there we are.
Interesting.
I'm right. You're wrong. Cool.
Yeah. Wait, are you sure?
I don't know. Fucking where am I at?
Damn it, Youper.
Any beers?
I can't argue with Youper.
No, you can't. You.
The only thing he can do up there is seriously play games
or
and
argue.
Look this shit up and argue. Yeah. Damn it, Youper.
How's the snow up there?
I can't even yeah, I know. Are you under 10 feet of snow yet?
Yeah. What's going on up there?
You need me to send a helicopter up your way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, I can tell you right now, Youper Gaming, he's tough. He's a tough guy.
You think
so?
You
live in the UP.
Yeah. Oh, he's tough.
Where you have 10 inches.
He said, there he goes, fucking trolls.
trolls.
South of the bridge, you're a fucking troll.
Jeez, they're also savage up there.
Oh, they are.
They're so mean.
Oh, they are.
So mean.
Sure.
But hey, at least they got Mackinac fudge up there. Kind of cool.
That's true. And the what's the little guys that they talk about?
Patch?
No.
Pasties.
Pasties.
Is that what those are?
Yeah, pasties.
Somebody made some of those at work. They didn't call them pasties. They had another word for them.
They're stupid. They're pasties. It's a Danish dish, actually.
Is it Danish?
It is Danish.
Oh, fucking.
I was doing some research the other day.
I think you're just making shit up.
That's cool.
But no, yes, very excited for Disney Plus. If you guys are excited for Disney Plus, let us know in the comments what shows you're excited to see. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of MCU shows coming out. There's a lot of good shit coming out on Disney Plus.
Shit.
Really excited for that. Dude, I think that's we don't have too much else, do we?
I don't think we got
pasties.
too much else.
It's pronounced pasties.
Pasties.
Fucking word right, pasties.
Hey, at least you got said Danish right. You didn't know shit.
Jesus.
You were like, it's a
What
progie. You were like, it's a progie.
It's not a pasty.
Thanks for those sparks.
Pasties.
Thanks, Miss Ultimate Cannon. But she's in Australia, by the way, so I want to thank her for being here.
Miss Ultimate Cannon's in Australia?
She is in Australia.
G'day.
Yeah, oh, come on.
No, seriously, dude, that's how you say g'day, right?
Now you're doing a whole...
I've seen Crocodile on
Oh,
way so
for
many
fuck's
times.
sake! That's your fucking point. That's your base. That's your basis for comparison.
Well, I mean,
Finnish.
Well,
It's Finnish.
that or Young Einstein with Yahoo Serious, and he was
for
Australian.
Fuck's sake!
That was a great movie.
Also, thanks to both Jeans for I know you guys it's late over there in the UK too for showing up tonight too. So
yeah, appreciate the
so
support,
much.
you guys.
Yeah.
It was really everybody that's out by tonight.
Yeah,
we really appreciate it. This is why we love doing. We love talking. We love getting you involved. And yeah, that is something that when Evan mentioned that we are trying to figure out a way.
We are
to get people to kind of join the conversation, call in, so to speak. There's certain ways we could do that.
We got some ideas. Thanks
I
for those sparks, Dirty.
Really,
What up, Dirty?
really,
Thank you.
Really excited to kind of explore that and kind of expand the show to get the viewers, the people who are always here every night, to kind of be a part of the conversation in interesting ways. So
absolutely,
we're definitely looking at that. But I think that's gonna do it for tonight's show, dude.
Yeah, so we're looking at 2 weeks. I don't know what the date is off the top of my noggins.
Well, 2 weeks from the.
Oh, look at you and your fucking Go Gadget watch over there and
2
shit.
weeks from the 6th is the 20th.
Whatever. No, that's math.
It's called math, dude.
Math. No, it's not. Is it the 20th? Is it the 20th? No, I know it's math. But...
It's the 6th. 14 days is 2 weeks, bro.
Oh, okay.
Jeez, man, you're killing me, Smalls.
Math. Fuck math. But yeah, we'll be back the 20th. We'll definitely bring up some Death Stranding.
Yes, we'll talk about Death Stranding.
And man, I tell you, I still haven't seen Zombieland 2.
I know.
And
really
I still haven't. Oh yeah, you can definitely. By the way, Banter and Babble After Dark will be selling those nudes for $5.99 for a 2-pack, or you can get one singularly for $6.99. You will talk after.
Babble and Banter After Dark streams on Ustream. That's where we're at.
Is that where it is?
It's on Ustream.
Check out my.
It's like the dark web of streaming
is
services.
That where it
yeah.
is? Okay, that's great.
Do you remember that when the PlayStation 4 launched, and Ustream was one of the streaming
Absolutely.
outlets? And you could go over there and you could find like a lot of classy people with videos going up, dude.
Some of us would hang out on Saturday nights, and we would spend our time while drinking, getting on like the web services of PlayStation and trolling the shit out of people. Half the time they weren't playing anything. They would be sitting there. You could tell they just tidied up their room for Saturday night to hang in there and drink and talk with people in their.
Oh, I'm glad you got those people, because I had the people that were like somewhere in Bay City in the trailer park.
Yeah.
And they were the guy was sitting on the couch smoking a blunt, and his lady friend was dancing just in front of the camera with like a little to nothing on. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, it got shut down because of the nudes.
Oh, dude, there was a lot of
people,
stuff going on.
They caught people fucking on that thing.
Dude, you could if you hopped on there after midnight, it was basically like Cinemax After Dark had moved over to streaming
without the white stuff because you were trying to get the.
I know what white stuff you're talking about, you fucking pervert.
Oh, sorry.
Anyways,
yes.
Yes, November 20th, we'll be back on before Thanksgiving. That's the week before. Do a show talk about Death Stranding. We'll probably talk a little bit about Jedi.
Fallen Jedi, yeah. I would have been playing that for.
Yeah, that drops next Friday, so we'll definitely be checking that out.
Very excited about that.
Comments on that.
Absolutely.
One of the things we wanted to talk about tonight, and I totally forgot to bring it up, Terminator.
Well, it's not been reviewing good, and not a lot of people have gone out and seen it.
Incredibly well. That's sitting at about an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh.
Dark Fate review, dude. It's the best reviewed Terminator movie since Judgment Day. It is reviewed very well.
So I wish Rohit Raju was in chat right now. He did not like it at all.
Oh, he didn't like it.
There's a lot of controversy with this by old school fans, and I consider myself an old school fan as well too. You probably yourself as well. It's reviewed well critically, but I thought viewers was like, hell no.
Oh, okay. The user scores have been really bad.
And like it's been tanking. Sarah Connor, this is you damn right, you.
She is bae.
Yeah. Want her to bench press me. Linda Hamilton.
Wow.
Here's my number.
All right.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's on its way to being an absolute massive bomb. I mean, they're talking anywhere up towards 120 million in losses, because it cost an X amount to make, and then the marketing doubled the price just about. And I mean, it might not even hit 70 million in the U.S., which is really, really bad for an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Even though he's kind of like, he's past his prime, he's not the draw he was. And I think that's kind of the instance, the issue that we're having here is Linda Hamilton, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yes, massive draws in the 80s, early 90s. They're not there anymore, man. Even you can put James Cameron's name all over this thing as a producer. And Cameron it doesn't ring as much as it did back in the day. And when you have movies like, I didn't see Genesis. I didn't see.
I actually like Genesis.
Did you like Genesis? I didn't see Genesis. I didn't see.
Salvation.
I saw Salvation, which I thought was.
Till the fucking desert scene where he transplants the heart was stupid. Yeah, everything else I liked fine.
I actually thought it was. I thought it was an entertaining flick. I didn't like Terminator 3. I didn't like that one at all.
No, that was fucking garbage.
So
fuck that.
And I feel like what happened there is after 3, there was just miss after miss after miss. And, I think for like a series like Terminator, I think it's harder to reboot it or kind of keep the lore going as opposed to like rebooting a horror movie. That's easy to do. Just make it scary. Yeah. Like the Halloween movie last year they rebooted. You know, I basically kind of did what this movie did. I mean, from my understanding, they've retconned Terminator 3, Genesis, all that stuff is irrelevant. This is a direct sequel to Judgment Day, and it just didn't do all. Where Halloween basically retconned Halloween 2 through 7 or 8.
H2O is your favorite.
H2O is underrated. H2O is actually a decent movie. The H2O is a decent movie.
LL Cool J's a pull.
Here's what we do. We do this all the time. We always kind of just like carry on, but I just don't think Terminator has the same cash. I don't think it has the same strength as it did back in the 80s and early 90s.
It's unfortunate because I am going to plan to see it eventually.
Yep.
I just ain't got no time.
Yep. Oh, it's really difficult. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. Lots of games. You live life in the retail world. That means you have no time.
Ain't no life.
Yep. No life.
Now
Except on Wednesday nights.
Except on every other Wednesday night.
There
And actually every Wednesday, yes, but.
Yeah. So here we are. But yes, good conversation tonight. Lots of good stuff to talk about.
Appreciate you guys.
Remember, if you can't catch us live, you can watch it on demand on YouTube, Facebook, or you can listen to it on the go on your favorite podcast service of your choice.
Correct.
YouTube, or not YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and everything else. It's available just about everywhere else. Make sure you check it out, Banter Babble. If you listen to it on iTunes, it's a review. Give us 5 stars. Tell us why you
give
love
some
the show.
love. Follow us too, please.
Yeah, give us a follow, subscribe. Let us know what you think of the show. If you have any comments you want to send to us, let us know on you. You can go on Twitter. You can go on Facebook. Leave a comment. Send us DMs, whatever. Let us know what you think about the show. Comments you have about it. We want to hear from you. That's the only way the show is going to get better is if we hear from you.
If you've got topics you want us to chat about,
yes.
we're definitely starting to get our stride right now. We feel like we want to. There's room for evolve.
Yep.
You got stuff you want us to talk about, let's talk about something.
Absolutely. Let us know.
We're ready.
And again, we're trying to figure out ways to get you guys and girls involved more when you watch, when you tune in live. We want to get you involved. We want your thoughts on topics. That's the reason we're doing this. We want to talk to each other. We also want to talk to you.
Absolutely.
So, Fanboytone, I'm the Dude79. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.